Hi, everyone. So my name is Anand Vishwanathan, and from that name, you probably would have guessed that I'm a software engineer. And I'm a software engineer at Xignite.com, and what we do is pretty simple. We have the easiest and the most popular set of financial market data APIs that are out there today. And to give you a sense of our scale, in the 20-odd minutes that we're going to be on stage, we would have served 30 million API requests. And this is a reason that some of the leading fintech startups and over 40 Finovate alumni use Xignite. And we make market data easy for them. But there is something about market data that's not easy, even today. And this is the fact that market data updates all the time. And as an app developer, if you want to engage your end users, you need to stream this data out to your applications. But streaming this data is not easy. You have to connect to servers, subscribe to feeds. You need to fan out all this data to your end applications. It can take weeks or months. But this is exactly why we at Xignite are very happy to introduce Xignite Cloud Streaming. It's a set of super simple APIs that allows you to stream financial market data directly into your applications. Now let me show you, how many of you guys are actual software engineers? Hands up. Decent amount. You guys will appreciate this, maybe, hopefully. So this is just a simple Android application that I built for this event. And most applications that need to display market data tend to do some kind of polling or tend to just make a REST call and display static information. This one, however, you can see that it's constantly updating. And what it's really doing is it's performing an HTTP connection with Xignite's Cloud Stream APIs. And that's located over here. And what it does is it subscribes into changes on these symbols. And when the values change, it gets a message, and it updates the values. So it's pretty simple, actually. So there you have it. This is cloud streaming, super simple APIs to stream financial market data onto your application. And this kind of brings us, the power of these APIs kind of brings us into the very important tenet of the fintech world that we live in today. It really is the rise of the financial APIs, as they say. You can create an entire fintech company just by using some of the financial APIs that are out there today. And our CEO was joking the other day. Someone was asking him about a personal finance management application, and he said, well, you know, you can get like personal data from Yodlee, you can get market data from Xignite, sentiment data from StockTwits or Signal, and you trade it on Tradier, and that's it. You have your personal finance manager, in theory at least, right? But we all know that it's not that straightforward. It takes developers a lot of time to find the data that they need in the form that they need, and to actually start building their applications. So our second major announcement here today is for this purpose, and we're very excited about this. This is called the FinTech Revolution API ecosystem. And here we bring together some of the best financial APIs that are out there today in one place, so the fintech developers can go find the data that they need and start building immediately. So I can spend the next 15, 16 minutes talking to you myself about how awesome it is to work with Xignite, but I think it'll be better if we talk to one of our clients and one of our FinTech Revolution API ecosystem partners. So happy to introduce on stage Fritz Robbins, CTO of Personal Capital, one of the leading personal finance management applications that are out there, and a longtime client of Xignite. Fritz.
Hi, thanks.
And Eric Horesny, CEO of StreamData.io, one of our FinTech Revolution API ecosystem partners and our lead revolutionary. And Al Chang, our very own CTO of Xignite. Al Chang. Welcome. Glad to have you gentlemen on stage. You know, the temptation when you have engineers like this on stage is to start with like, what's your stack, and then just kind of keep going like that. So we're going to try to keep that off stage. Start with you directly, Fritz. Obviously, personal capital, big vision, market data is very central to it. Where does it fit in? Where does Xignite fit into that?
Sure. Do you want to hear about our stack first, though?
I'd love to.
So for those of you who don't know Personal Capital, we started our business about 4 years ago with the idea of trying to help people with complex financial lives understand the complexity of their finances, make them simple, tractable, and really offload the complexity to help them have a better financial life. And what that looks like in a couple ways, we combine technology, and we also have a fiduciary advisory service, which helps people with planning, managing their investment portfolios. One of the key things that we really focus on is delivering technology and analysis of complex financial data to give people an understanding of what kind of investments they're holding today, where their money's going, where their money's coming from. As a big part of that, obviously, accuracy of investment data, being able to value portfolios, being able to look across a broad swath of holdings, to understand price history, to be able to infer performance, is a key part of what we do. We actually started using Xignite fairly early on as our partner for pricing, getting accurate pricing data for portfolios. When we started, we really took a hard look at what options were available out there for getting accurate pricing data. And we really didn't want to go to an exchange and set up a dedicated circuit or do a 3-year contract. And we were a startup looking to do things nimbly, quickly, and low fixed cost. One of the things that was really valuable for us in building our business with Xignite was easy integration and essentially unit-based pricing that didn't require a big outlay up front, essentially looking and bringing in the APIs. So we started using a BATS real-time quote service for getting quotes off the BATS exchange. As we added more services and more analytics for our end users, we started taking more and more advantage of what Xignite offered.
Awesome. So you have been a client with us for a long time, so I'm sure you've faced some challenges. How has that been working with Xignite through those things? Any cool stories of solutions that you've come up with, work together?
Well, yeah, we've been working with Xignite for some time. As one of the things that we found as we have grown the types of instruments that and securities that we consume and that we provide, that we bring market data together for, we started, as I said, with using BATS real-time quotes. We also then started bringing in historical quotes, looking at index quotes. And sort of consuming all of these different APIs. I think it was probably about a year or so ago when Xignite came out with a single API, SuperQuotes API, which allowed us to go to a single interface and essentially take care of the back-end plumbing, pulling those different services together into one interface, which has been a real boon for us. If you're like most developers, it's almost as fun to throw away code as it is to write new code. And so that allowed us to get rid of a fair number of integration points and just go to a single integration point, saving us, a lot of maintenance cost, increasing our reliability, et cetera.
Cool. So I'll bring you in on that. How would you describe Xignite's way of thinking about these kind of
Sure. As Anand's mentioned earlier here, our whole focus is zero footprint. We built our business on creating easy-to-use market data APIs that don't require the personal capital of the world to have to build the infrastructure, which really means building out data feed handlers, dealing with co-locations, the cross-connects, the production infrastructure, all that plumbing just to get to that data to a format that they can easily use to consume their data. That's a message we've been sending for quite a while, but something that I just want to sort of touch upon here, what Fritz is talking about. It's beyond simply those APIs. We work with our customers, like Personal Capital, which is a great success story, to really understand how they use their APIs and how to optimize it. And through these interactions, we learn about things that they're doing, for example, with BATS and other sort of feeds, with the sort of, wouldn't it be nice if you could just do this thing, and they'll save us even more work. And so that's how we continually sort of iterate and refine and make it even easier to consume our data and continue to focus on that zero footprint so that the personal capitals can focus on their secret sauce, what makes them unique in the industry and their business models.
So, I mean, you've heard some cool stuff that you guys are introducing too, and here there's more plans to go overseas.
Well, we're certainly looking at the potential there. I mean, it's true that there are people outside of the U.S. that also need help managing their finances, and you know, we're certainly looking at opportunities to you know, the potential to expand overseas. In doing our due diligence, you know, obviously we're a registered investment advisor in the U.S., and when we start to think about going overseas with a wealth management service, there are a lot of complex issues in terms of the compliance environments, the regulatory environments, and you know, service providers in local markets. One of the real you know, pluses that we found sort of working with Xignite is, okay, we've got a partner here that is in a lot of international markets, so it's one less thing that we have to think about, you know, as we're starting to do our homework about going overseas.
Cool. Well, cloud streaming, Al, it's up on that.
You've seen the demo. It's live, it's real. We were all a little bit worried. Actually, Anand coded this up during lunchtime when we realized the US markets were closed. So this is just in time demoing. Cloud streaming. So all I want to say before I hand the mic over to Eric here is that, you know, we've at Xignite have built our business on the widest selection of APIs that provides a request, simple to use request response, REST calls, returns data in JSON, CSV, or XML. And the natural progression is going towards streaming. So with that same mantra of zero footprint, our goal with cloud streaming, once again, is to eliminate the need to build production infrastructure, and there's quite a bit there if you want to truly scale out and fan out to your end customers here. Right. So this is an example of continuing that focus on zero footprint. And with that, I'll make sure we save enough time for Eric, who's one of our strategic partners here on the streaming side.
So, you know, a couple of words about stream data.
Sure.
Introduce.
Hi. Stream data, we're just a component that converts APIs into streams. So I've said everything. So it's like Netflix, but Netflix of data. Rather than streaming video, we're streaming data. What it brings is for developers creating applications that requires to present dynamic data on mobile phones, connected objects, or on the web. It allows them to consume and present it in 4 lines. It also allows for API publishers to not being pulled by millions of devices at the same time requiring the same information. So today we have like 500,000 devices using our technology, more than doubling every year. So to me about streaming, the important thing is to think about just one thing. You know, if you have 1 million people looking at Apple stock at the same time, it's really inefficient in terms of network, in terms of the CPU of the servers that have to send this data, and in terms of the mobile devices that need to present this data. We just ran some benchmarks. They're available on our website. That shows that the CPU on the server side of the API publishers was divided by 1,000. The network bandwidth as well was divided by 100. And the battery is actually saved by 99%. And that's coming from the technology itself of streaming.
And I mean, just to clarify, of course, stream data, completely different product from Xignite Cloud Streaming, but of course you're streaming experts, and you're big fans of SSEs for market data, so SSE as in server-sent events for data as opposed to using WebSockets.
SSE is finally ready for massive deployment, and it appears to be faster than WebSocket. It is way more efficient than WebSocket when you want to disseminate data. So the choice you've made of SSE is the right choice when it comes to market data dissemination. It's also a way to disseminate data that's way better for developers than DevOps, because the firewalls and load balancers don't need to cope with TCP connections. They can handle HTTP as usual. And to me, it's the only route today, as we all need to prepare for HTTP 2. And HTTP 2 will make SSE mandatory compared to WebSocket in the next few months.
Yeah. I mean, we're thinking of the same lines, although there are people who are quite invested in the WebSocket world when it comes to streaming anything. So the FinTech Revolution API ecosystem. So Eric, why should the FinTech developers in the audience try to use it? Why should they try to be part of it? What is so exciting about it for you?
Well, okay, for a company like us, we are just a little thing within the FinTech stack. And for us to actually address all the requirements of all the developers globally wouldn't make sense for us individually. So to partner with Xignite and the FinTech Revolution ecosystem brings that ability to work on solutions rather than just our individual stack. And it's an opportunity to create partnerships amongst ourselves and also present a better developer experience, which I think is the most important thing today. Everybody wants to create applications with the best possible user experience, and for that you need the best possible developer experience, and Xignite is way better than any other market data provider for that. So to be working with the best of breed within the FinTech environment is extremely exciting. We had the opportunity to work with StockTwits as well on our technology, and Vetar and Yodlee. That's, I think, a great way for developers to save time spiking, okay, what's going on in terms of streaming or in terms of sentiments. At least you have an ecosystem that's pre-qualified for your needs.
When you say spiking like that, it almost seems like you expect people to slack when they 2 weeks of spike.